Here's a pattern that unlocks over 50 common Spanish verbs. When a verb has O in the stem, that O becomes UE in 4 out of 5 present tense forms. Learn this once, and you can instantly conjugate poder, dormir, volver, encontrar, and dozens more. Let me show you exactly how it works and why it matters. Start with poder. You already know this one means can or to be able to. The infinitive is poder. That O in the middle? Watch what happens. I can is puedo. The O became UE. You can is puedes, still UE. She can, he can, you formal can, all puede. The UE holds in every single one. Now the exception. We can is podemos. Look at that O. It stayed as O, no stem change. But they can, you all can, pueden. The UE comes back immediately. This is the exact pattern you saw with E to IE stem changers. 4 forms get the change. The nosotros form stays regular. But instead of E becoming IE, you've got O becoming UE. Same structure, different vowel. Why does Spanish do this? The stress lands on the stem in puedo, puedes, puede, and pueden. When stress hits the stem, the vowel changes. But in podemos, stress falls on the ending. No stress on the stem means no stem change. That's the rule operating beneath the surface. Using poder is essential because you express ability and permission constantly. Can you come to dinner? ¿Puedes venir a cenar? Someone asks, can I use your phone? ¿Puedo usar tu teléfono? The verb handles both can you and may I. Context tells you which meaning applies. Remember that poder takes an infinitive directly after it. No connector word needed. Puedo nadar means I can swim. Puede cocinar means she can cook. Podemos resolver el problema means we can solve the problem. The second verb stays in infinitive form every time. Now, dormir. This means to sleep, and it follows the same O to UE pattern. I sleep is duermo. You sleep is duermes. He sleeps, she sleeps, duerme. We sleep is dormimos. There's your regular O, holding steady. They sleep, duermen. Back to UE. Dormir appears constantly when you talk about sleep habits and schedules. How many hours do you sleep? ¿Cuántas horas duermes? Someone might answer, duermo 7 horas. I sleep 7 hours. Or, duermo mal cuando hace calor. I sleep badly when it's hot. The verb works for sleep quality, sleep duration, all of it. Here's a common expression. Dormir la siesta means to take a nap. Duermo la siesta después del almuerzo. I nap after lunch. That article la before siesta is standard. You sleep the nap in Spanish. It sounds natural to native speakers, even though English doesn't work that way. One more thing about dormir. When you want to say fall asleep, you often use dormirse with the reflexive pronoun. Me duermo a las 11 means I fall asleep at 11. ¿Te duermes rápido? Do you fall asleep quickly? The reflexive adds that sense of transitioning into sleep rather than just being asleep. Next is volver. This means to return or to come back. Same stem change pattern. I return is vuelvo. You return is vuelves. She returns, vuelve. We return is volvemos. Regular O there. They return, vuelven. The UE appears right where you expect it. Volver works for physical returns and for doing something again. If you're coming back home, you say, vuelvo a casa. Someone asks, when does the bus return? ¿Cuándo vuelve el autobús? The verb handles all types of returning. Here's where volver gets really useful. Volver, a plus an infinitive, means to do something again. Vuelvo a intentar means I try again. ¿Vuelves a leer el libro? Are you reading the book again? Volvemos a visitar ese restaurante. We're visiting that restaurant again. This construction is everywhere in Spanish. Anytime you repeat an action, volver expresses it cleanly. You'll also hear volver in expressions about coming back to a state or condition. Volver loco means to drive crazy. Me vuelves loco. You drive me crazy. Volver a empezar means to start over. Tenemos que volver a empezar. We have to start over. The verb carries this sense of returning to a previous state. Now, encontrar. This one means to find or to encounter. I find is encuentro. You find is encuentras. He finds, encuentra. We find is encontramos. Regular or staying put. They find, encuentran. UE returns perfectly. Encontrar is one of those verbs you use constantly. Can't find your keys? No encuentro mis llaves. Looking for a good café? ¿Dónde puedo encontrar un buen café? Where can I find a good café? The verb works for finding objects, places, people, solutions, everything. But encontrar also means to encounter or to meet up with someone. Me encuentro con amigos means I meet up with friends. ¿Te encuentras con problemas? Are you encountering problems? This sense of coming across something or someone, whether planned or by chance, that's encontrar. Here's a construction you'll see all the time. Encontrarse with a reflexive pronoun means to be located or to feel a certain way. ¿Dónde te encuentras? Where are you located? Or ¿cómo te encuentras? How are you feeling? The reflexive gives encontrar this broader meaning beyond just finding things. Let me show you how these 4 verbs connect to a massive family of O to UE stem changers. Costar means to cost. Cuesta, not costa. Mover means to move something. Muevo, mueves, mueve, movemos, mueven. Mostrar means to show. Muestro, muestras, muestra, mostramos, muestran. Everyone follows the pattern. Recordar means to remember. Recuerdo, recuerdas, recuerda, recordamos, recuerdan. Contar means to count or to tell a story. Cuento, cuentas, cuenta, contamos, cuentan. Sonar means to sound or to ring. Suena, not sona. Probar means to try or to taste. Pruebo, pruebas, prueba, probamos, prueban. You're seeing it now. The pattern repeats across dozens of common verbs. O becomes UE when stress falls on the stem. Nosotros form keeps the regular O because stress shifts to the ending. Learn the pattern once, apply it everywhere. Here's what makes this powerful. You don't memorize individual verbs. You recognize the pattern. See a verb with O in the stem, check if it's a stem changer. If it is, you automatically know how to conjugate it. Stress on the stem, use UE. Stress on the ending, keep the O. That's your entire decision process. Most dictionaries mark stem-changing verbs. You'll see O to UE in parentheses after the infinitive. Or you'll notice it in context. Someone says cuesta instead of costa, and you realize, wait, that's a stem changer. The more you encounter these verbs, the more automatic the pattern becomes. Let me give you practical examples of these verbs working together. Imagine you're describing your routine. Me despierto, duermo bien, y vuelvo a casa tarde. I wake up, I sleep well, and I return home late. Or you're looking for something. No puedo encontrar mi teléfono. I can't find my phone. ¿Dónde puede estar? Where can it be? 3 stem changers in 2 sentences. Or consider making plans. Podemos encontrarnos en el parque. We can meet in the park. ¿Cuánto cuesta la entrada? How much does the entrance cost? ¿A qué hora vuelves? What time are you coming back? These verbs flow naturally into everyday conversation once you know the pattern. The beauty of stem-changing verbs is their predictability. Yes, the stem changes, but it changes the same way every time. O becomes UE in 4 forms. Nosotros stays regular. This happens consistently across every O to UE verb in Spanish.